My mother's name was Ruthie. Really, it was Ruth Shapiro, before she married my father. My sister and I just loved to call her Ruthie. Actually, we like to call her Ma, which sounds so wrong right now. Or, even more wrong, is Moo, when she used to bring us our milk. We used to think that was funny. She would get annoyed. She liked being called Mom the best. We still refer to her as Ruthie. My mother's name was Ruthie. She used to get out of the shower with a towel wrapped around her large body, and she would come into our bedroom doing a little dance for us. My sister and I would bend over and laugh hysterically, both loving my mother's silliness and majorly amazed that our mother could be so ridiculous. My mother's name was Ruthie. She loved connecting with people. My father didn't. One year, my parents came to visit me. They had taken the train up from Florida because my father was afraid to fly. When I picked them up at the Chicago train station, I noticed that my father seemed so upset with my mother. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me that my mother had told everyone everything about our family. Wait, there's more. My mother quickly replied, "Oh, Jack, what do you want from me? They said hello to me. What else was I to do?" My mother's name was Ruthie. She came from a little village in Russia, Poland called Kabrin. When she was several years old, there was a pogrom, which is a raid of the village by government soldiers. My mother's family escaped to Danzig, Germany, where, because she was very ill at the time, the captain of the ship had to be bribed to let my mother on board, but they made it, and Passaic, New Jersey became home to my mother. That is where she grew up, where her mother died when she was 11. She had many boyfriends, several marriage proposals. Ruthie said no to all of them, and then she met my father. They married because her family convinced her that she was getting old at 33, and she needed to get married. And besides, his family was nice. You didn't meet them, but then my sister Michelle and I came along. My mother's life with my father was actually very difficult and lonely. Sometimes Michelle and I would ask, why did she marry him? My mother's name was Ruthie. In 1987, I got a phone call that I needed to come to Florida. Mom was sick. We took her to the doctor. She had cancer. The doctors kept referring to her as patients like that. I told them, our mother's name is Ruthie, and you will call her by her name. The nurses clapped silently behind the doors. The night before the surgery, I remember my last walk with my mother. My sister was on her left, I on her right, and we went walking down the corridor. A man was walking alongside us. He looked at us and asked my mother, "Who are these beautiful young women?" And without missing a beat, she turned to him and said, "These are my pride and joy." I never felt my heart so full. On February 26th at 10:23 a.m., we received a call that our mother had died. Ruthie was gone. We flew her body up to Passaic, New Jersey, where she was to be buried. My mother's funeral was the first funeral I had ever been to. I was 37. I stood behind the coffin and I read my blessing to her, and that's what I want to end with and share with you today. A blessing for Ruthie. From your lungs I sprang, fearful to take my stand in this life. But I looked up and I saw you laying there pushing, bearing me forth to this life, to live this life. This I did learn from you, Ruthie, to live this life with curiosity, gusto, joy, and deep-rooted spreading compassion and love. This I did learn from you, Ruthie, to accept with surrender and strength what comes, to cry at the drop of a hat from the bottom of my heart did I learn, to speak with the truth and a story like none I've never heard before did I learn from you, Ruthie. I grew strong and straight and not so straight. And your love fortified me to stretch and to reach for what I know not, and reach I did, I do, till I pass over to meet you and be with you. And yes, Mama, I do know what I reach for. I have a love so deep for you, Ruthie, that will last the ages, for you are and will always be my mother, my compassion, my strength, my guidance, and I do love you. I dedicate my life to living and teaching others to live with love, compassion, and wisdom in your name, Ruthie. And I cry for joy that I know you. I will miss only your body, for your spirit will be with me always. Ho! Thank you.